Right. So we have Dr. Darshana and Dr. Ritu ma'am, and Dr. Ritu ma'am who is going to attend the celebration, the real Diwali, which she had postponed earlier. She's going to go for her brother's wedding, the daughter's wedding. Okay. So,
Yes, sir.
and Dr. Darshana is always, ready to for any schedule. Class is there, class is not there. Everything she can adapt. Okay. So, except that if daughter is there, she wants the break. Okay. So, right. We have both of them attending today's session on the myology of the skull, especially the implication to parallelly go before the pathomechanics of the cranial cranium, okay, in cranial osteomanual therapy. So before that, to have this, and also in clinical anatomy, people try to integrate from the myology and the osteology. Okay, so in osteology, I've introduced the bony landmarks, and in the cranium, overall myology also I've introduced the muscles. Okay, so what you have to see is only the pharynx and the tongue muscle. Tongue muscles I told, pharynx muscles I did tell. Okay, so you can see in terms of that, which is all soft tissue attachments. Okay, so some of them having bony attachments, which can influence by the base of the skull. Okay, right? Yes.
Hmm. Yeah, I think today's lecture was very important from cranial osteo manual therapy point of view. If we see, I think now we can at least visualize, what we are going to treat. So
Especially after seeing the skull, especially the base with the marking. Okay?
yes,
So these ones are actually very important. In fact, the genioglossus attachment is here.
okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it is a very, very useful tool, the marked one for the anatomy. Of course,
Right.
we have pictures. I can even share some of the pictures here also now to show what I have got from the net. This is to show the upper trapezius. Okay. You can see the attachment there here in the occiput. Okay, laterally. Right. And
Yeah.
next is albums, all photos. Capitis. Okay, very long one, right?
Hmm.
And again, you have next, which is splenius capitis. Okay, which is mainly from cervical and thoracic and going diagonally. Okay.
Hmm.
Next is photo gallery, albums, all photos, suboccipital masticatory face. Okay. Tongue muscles I have already shown. Okay. Right. Geniohyoid.
Yes.
And then next is albums. Masticatory also I'll show once. So this is for temporalis and masseter, buccinator, which is around the lip. You see the pterygoids here. Okay. Lateral and medial pterygoid, especially. Okay. So this is the lateral pterygoid. This is the medial pterygoid. Okay. So the relationship is very close between buccinator, pterygoids, and you know that the temporalis muscle is cut. Okay, in this picture, you can see the cut ends. So what's important is we get all these attractive pictures we see in the net. Most important thing is to have a subject beside you. Keep marking with the marker or try to apply some tapes to make sure that you are remembering in the real body, okay, the anatomy, how it is actually. So here also you can see anguli, oris, and other things, sternocleidomastoid, okay, levator labii, depressor labii, okay, all these muscles. buccinator, temporalis, okay, all this, right? Next, you see gallery, albums, all photos. That is done. This is done. This is for pharynx, larynx. Okay. We may not see this much details in respiratory system. So try to see that these muscles of the larynx, which are cricoarytenoid, cricoarytenoid, ARYTENOID. Okay, posterior, lateral, and also anterior cricoarytenoid. Okay, muscles. Pardon, clarity of the text is not that much. Okay, and then you see for oblique arytenoid, okay, transverse arytenoid in the frontal view. You can see oblique arytenoid, transverse arytenoid. Pardon me, I've just written it over the text. Oblique, transverse, okay, arytenoid muscles. Okay. Epiglottis is actually a general term, closure. Okay, the orifice which is there above, okay, that closes and opens with a flap of a muscle, which is epiglottis. You can see in the lateral view, this picture, lower picture.
Yeah.
Okay. Epiglottis. Okay, so it is like a flap, which actually closes the larynx to prevent that liquid and food should not enter the trachea. Where is the trachea? This is the trachea. Okay. How is it spelled? TRACHEA. Okay. Trachea. That is called as the windpipe for breathing. Okay. So this is the superior view or cross section like that. And hyoid bone is the largest here. You can see in the margin. This is the hyoid bone. Okay. Right. The next, another picture is you have for pharynx. So remember that from palate to the pharynx, palatopharyngeus, okay, it's a soft palate. Stylopharyngeus, we saw that it's a bony attachment. Okay. So these two, palatopharyngeus, stylopharyngeus, and then the three ones. You also have to thyroid gland and also to the cricoid. Thyroid gland is present both the sides of the larynx. Okay, here, and I'll show you that picture, the side one. Okay. You can see here, this is cricoid cartilage. So cricopharyngeus, thyropharyngeus, and then the three constrictors of the pharynx, superior, middle, and inferior constrictor. Okay. Stylopharyngeus. Okay. Right. So see that the details actually will come when you are actually focusing on what is simple as you are getting through with familiarity. Okay. So then you actually go through it. Then you remember the 5 names. Yes. Then you remember the additional 3 more names. And again, when near the exam or later for specific use, for example, we have a course in oral sensory motor evaluation and training. So there definitely these muscles will play a larger picture there. Okay, for swallowing, for speech, both the things. So remember that every stage you will add up with muscles, and later you will actually have a comprehensive picture. Okay? So for people who are giving exams, you should ensure that somehow you relate this terminology, like how I say about arytenoid. So in that arytenoid muscles, anterior, posterior, lateral, transverse, oblique, all directions are there. Okay. So which ones you can actually see? Anterior, posterior, transverse view, cut. Okay. You cut it like this, then only anterior and posterior will be visible. But whereas if you cut like this, transverse and oblique will be visible. Okay. So these kind of things are as per principles. Okay. Epiglottis is, you have to remember, glottis and epiglottis. Glottis is the opening, epiglottis is the flap. Okay. So the flap which is opening. It is like a whistle only. Like you blow it only one direction, the sound will come. Other direction, if you blow, sound won't come because there is a flap. Same way, here also epiglottis. From inside, when it is coming, it will come as the phonation, the sound production. Whereas from outside, if it goes, it is just silent, breathing, normal breathing, and air goes in. So epiglottis is actually important to prevent the aspiration, food particles entering into the breathing windpipe. Okay, and we get coughing reflex, which is also because of the epiglottis. Okay, so epiglottis is normally functioning, we'll have a good coughing reflex. If they are paralyzed, liquid will go in neurological patients. Okay, they have paralysis. So then they get aspiration and then they have complications to admit in ICU. Okay. Tongue muscle paralysis can happen because of brainstem lesions, medulla oblongata problems. So that can affect the pharynx muscle also, tongue muscle also. Cranial nerves like glossopharyngeal, or you have this hypoglossal muscles. Hypoglossal is for tongue movements. Glossopharyngeal is for the pharynx. So these are all important. So you can think of muscle dysfunctions which can be related to either nerve or the brain itself. Okay, cranial nerve or the brainstem lesions. Okay. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Dr. Darshana.
Yeah. You rightly said, so very important on that oromotor course which we are having, or the webinar which we are having on 26th. So all these muscles, definitely, I mean, understanding the muscles and the dysfunctions will definitely be helpful in understanding the sensory integration concept also, oromotor concept. So yes, and from the osteomanual therapy point of view, I was telling you, facial muscles, yes, like we have been using, I mean, we know day in and day out we treat Bell's palsy, so we are still aware of all those muscles. But especially the base, the skull, the base of the skull muscles, basically the deep flexors, cervical flexors also, it is something we need to remember and visualize. That is going to be helpful in the osteomanual therapy course. So a lot of homework to be done, as you rightly said, though it's a holiday for 4 days, but then a lot of revision to be done to understand the further things what you're going to teach us. But very interesting, yes, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, Ritu ma'am. Packing, madam. She'll be happy
Yes,
if she can pack herself also inside something. Okay. And somebody takes and goes, means happily she'll go. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Very nice that myology of skull, which you were explaining according to the anterior part of the muscle and the posterior muscle, the extensor group and the flexor group. And after that, all the muscles which are responsible for the functioning of either for the eyes movement or our buccinator muscle and masseter muscle, all you have with the pterygoid positioning of pterygoid. So I think after this, it is very easy to understand the skull mechanism also because of their placement of particular muscles which are responding to a particular bone. Because first we have learned about the bone, then we are learning about the muscle. So now it is easy to add on with their name also and with their functioning also, that which type of movement is which bone is performing with the help of which bone, either in an anterior
For
part or a
example,
posterior part.
even Dr. Darshana was telling about Bell's palsy. When there is paralysis, the facial muscles, they usually becomes stagnated with the lymphatic fluid, okay,
Yeah.
and very floppy, loose, and then hanging. Normal side is overactive, okay. So when this hangs, they have a tendency to actually pull the bone. Okay?
Yeah, right.
So the bones are likely to be in external rotation in the paralyzed side. And the overactive side, because the insertion is always pulled towards the origin, that bones will be in internal rotation.
Okay.
Okay, so this happens in Bell's palsy in cranial perspective. That if you want to see for during the movements of these bones, cranial assessment, evaluation. So that means you know that paralyzed side is already externally rotated. Okay.
Mm.
So this external rotation, what it will do? When it is externally rotated, you know that further external rotation will come, but internal rotation never it will come. Okay.
Mm.
So if you correct that internal rotation, then definitely facial muscle activation will be better. Okay.
Right.
So to correct that, definitely it is going to be the opposite side. That is anyway the therapy which we are going to see in the cranial course further. But and sometimes that facial muscles here may be influenced by the muscles which are attached at various regions inside. Okay, because it is like one is pulling outside, we can pull inside. Okay,
Mm.
so with the palatine, the pharynx muscles or the pterygoid muscles. So all this, okay. Pterygoid will be useful if it is to do with the jaw, the lips. Okay, outside it is the dysfunction. Inner muscles can help. Okay, in restoring the mandible position.
Right.
Okay, even the tongue muscles will help the mandibular stabilization. So,
Right.
lot of things we can infer in that interrelationship. Okay, and we try to see that craniosacral mechanics with this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Isma.
Exactly. We always think that this is the topic wise that is very simple, but when we enter in that course, then the folds are opening one by one. Then we can understand that how much deeper this topic is. It, but we were just thinking that this is a surface only. But according to today, your explanation about all the muscles.
That is why that chronic facial paralysis patients, you might think of even plastic surgery you do, okay, for the muscles, but still you will find that there is a facial asymmetry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is something which is evident because of skeletal malalignments, like that. Especially from children. Many times we don't have facial expressions which we do symmetrical. Some children have that stylish way of doing. Okay,
Mm.
they laugh only one side or only one eyebrow will be lifting. Okay, so these kind of things. So that means overactivity of one side and underactivity of another side. It creates a
Right.
facial bone asymmetry.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
Afterwards, when they look at the mirror at 17 or 18 years, they'll find that here angle is there is no angle. Okay. So, right? Yes.
Yeah. So Bell's palsy, also as you were mentioning that, if the muscles are in dysfunction, then we can use the insert deeper muscles to correct. So I think that's very important because it's more of aesthetically, the patients see for deviations. The concern is, oh, I'm doing the movement and there's deviation. So I think that's really going to be helpful if we learn.
The buccinator versus medial pterygoid. Okay.
Mm.
Because they are different. I cannot use the lateral pterygoid overactivity. I can use the medial pterygoid. Okay. But I can use the buccinator for buccinator weakness. For cranial correction, I can use the medial pterygoid. Okay. So that is why I am telling that kinetic part
Yes.
is more important. We cannot, if we cannot think that the muscle bone is more lateral, so keep pushing the bone medially, it will get corrected. We
Yeah.
want the muscle which is medially attached to actually pull it, so that physiologically it gets corrected.
Mm.
Okay.
Yes.
So that is how. Yes.
2 years back, I have treated one girl, the 14-year girl with the facial palsy. But that time I don't have so much of idea that how we can stimulate all these cranial nerve also, the facial muscles also. That time I have just given the muscle stimulator and the little bit small exercise. I have one small video I will show you in next session. That I that time I made that video, so that because her one eyelid, she was not able to close one eye only, and after that that doctor has suggested the taping on her eye so that she can close both the eyelids also, and that lips movement was also deviation. So that was the main condition for her, that when she was like this every time the conditioning, we have given some exercise, facial exercises, But I think after knowing these muscles and about the cranial therapy, now it will be more easy for the facial nerve. We can treat it better with this knowledge, because that time we don't some little bit knowledge about the Bell palsy, but now it is very clear that
Even after a cosmetic surgery and there's a scar, you know that there is this muscle. Usually the scars are very minimal. But after a cosmetic surgery, you know that there are adhesions, okay, the post-operative. So that is the one which is the loss of facial expressions, okay. If you don't mobilize these muscles, myofascial techniques, utilized with re-education of muscles, okay, activating them.
Yes.
So it's important for people to realize that surgery is not the solution. The re-education is the return to activity and normalcy. Okay.
yes, sir. So I think all these, and one thing which in today's session I really liked, that the way the positioning of sternocleidomastoid with the trapezius. Now I can easily relate that how they complement each other with their working, because that on the occiput region where there you have shown with the red.
Again, in the neck muscles, we are going to see these two. Okay.
Yeah.
So, of course, in scapula, clavicle. Okay. So, when you are coming to upper limb, shoulder girdle, so that means these two muscles will be very, very important. Okay. One anteriorly sternocleidomastoid, other one is lateral, that is upper trapezius. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Cervical, you have with the vertebra,
Mhm.
everything. Okay. So,
Yes, sir. So I think it's very easy to understand the positioning of each muscle, why they complement each other with their working according to.
and one area you will get one familiarity, the other one will be adding up. Okay. So progressively you will find that the initial myology compared to that now the regional myology. Okay. So
Okay.
like that, you will be more getting stronger and stronger, so that you don't have to read a textbook. You will feel like these sessions are enough for me to actually know the anatomy. Okay? So that is what I want the goal to be.
Actually,
Very true, sir. Very nice.
very
That's what is clinical. Okay. Otherwise, reading the textbook, there is no beginning, there is no end. Okay. It is like responsibilities of Ritu ma'am. Okay. Everything is there in the textbook. So it is very tough. Right.
yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Very nicely you have explained, and very easily. I think it was the serving is very easy, so that anyone can after the who are in this group, they will listen that and they will see the video. They can easily understand that how easily you are delivering all the words with their sounds, even their spellings. You are explaining each word with the dysfunction. Either the speech is not in in dysfunction, or the words are not making.
See,
of
when
the
I'm
sound.
coming to the gastrointestinal system and I'm telling about pharynx means, that time when I'm telling superior, middle, and inferior constrictor, somewhere that striking will come. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Okay.
Yes.
So that is why I'm
Yes.
telling today.
Yeah.
Same way for speech, for epiglottis or for the larynx when we are coming.
Yeah.
So one area when we come later, that will come, of course, in the visceral course parallel. Okay. Because to relate it, okay? Those who are enrolling in both the courses will be maximally benefited. Of course, the visceral course people will get the access to the anatomy complementary. Okay? Because without that, they cannot understand anything in visceral techniques. Okay? You have ligaments suspending liver and stomach means you don't know where they from where to where they are going. Then how you can direct the technique?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So both Dr. Darshana and myself will wish with Ritu ma'am to enjoy this week and the weekend, and then come
Thank
back
you, sir.
more cheerful,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
energized, more
You too.
refreshed.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir, for your best wishes. Definitely, it will be a great event for me after a long time. Now we will enjoy with some family function with all of my dears. So thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
See you and wishing you good luck to both of you. And of course, stay connected. We have a lot of people completing the fellowships. So it has been a process which is going through this week. I'm really happy for people like Jeffin who have completed, fellowship, Pushpanjali, she enrolled, she is part of it. Okay, she's there. But she's also, if she completes, definitely it's a big thing that a new member joining and taking all courses right from beginning till now. Okay?
Great.
And the neurological course is another eye opener. When I was assembling these topics, I understood that so much neuro we have taken. Okay, and of course, cardiopulmonary is only limited to the thorax and the pulmomanual therapy. Okay, there are some webinars before, but not that extent. But neuro, substantial, we have material.
Yeah,
So that
I
is
was so
also.
happy to see that list that we've done all the courses. Actually,
Okay, and Dr. Chandrasekhar, our core committee member, has listed here
okay.
topics. It's the way to organize the information. Even in resume, we don't enter all the certificates. Okay, if you start typing and seeing that everything date-wise, you may find really it is like you are climbing a hill. When you are breathless, just take a pause, and that time you can just see down. It will be like a breathtaking experience. Okay, that I have climbed this much. Okay,
Yeah.
so it gives an energy for you that I have climbed this much, so this much is nothing. Okay, so further going, of course, the next step where you have to be careful, and you can definitely scale any heights. Okay, why you have to reach a height is because when the light is higher, that light reaches the whole world. Okay, so if the light is there down or light is within a part, means it gets off. Okay, if you totally cover the light, means it's off immediately. Okay, I am telling light in terms of an electrical battery powered light. If you have a candle, means you have to take care of the breeze, all the diversions. Okay, rain, water, all the things. Okay, right?
Yes, sir.
See you. Good luck.
Sir,
Enjoy the evening and enjoy the week.
Sir, I wanted to tell you one thing, that I have treated one of my patient with the thoracic dysfunction, the rib dysfunction, and he is completely the 78 years man. He is completely well after the treatment of the rib
That is
dysfunction and that.
completely okay. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, today was my very last session for him, and he was so happy after the treatment of 15 or 16 sessions. He is completely well. With us, we started with the posterior part, and now he's perfectly fine. There is no pain, and there is no pain in his ribs also, and everything is fine with him. The main problem which he was facing from last 2 years, now he is perfectly fine after that. So I wanted to tell you that thing, that after the thoracic course, this is a very big achievement for me, that I have given a right treatment to a right patient after assessing the right dysfunction. So thank you so much for this also.
There are majority of people who are thinking that how from an online course it will improve our direct delivery of technique. Okay, they are not able to believe that an online course can make a change. Okay, they think knowledge is okay, but how skill will come? Okay,
No.
I would also like to share something with both of you. I was so happy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I shared it with Ritu ma'am, but with sir still pending. Yeah, so I had a case of pre-operative TKR. She was operated on 27, but pre-operatively I saw her for around, I think, a week or so. Before that, some other therapist was seeing her, and the therapist went out of town or somewhere, so she came over to me. And of course, judiciously applying the techniques what I've learned from you, especially MFR, FMR, ISTM, and MET. Okay, she had hamstring, of course, tightness. We wouldn't say actually fixed flexion deformity or something, but there was tightness because MET worked very well. In fact, just pre-operatively, she's telling me, the husband was also telling me, ma'am, do you seriously think we need to get her operated? Because she was,
no, that is the problem. The moment that kind of a recovery comes in, Priya,
Yes.
It's very tricky. Okay,
Very
clinical
tricky.
scenario. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, because she had this, even there was IT band tightness, which I released, rectus femoris tightness, which I released, and she could actually straighten her knee completely. For years, she had not done that. And she was so happy without pain. So they were seriously thinking, ma'am, if you tell, we will not operate. I said, no, you just go with whatever your surgeon has advised, because definitely there was a lot of, bony damage also, cartilage damage and bony damage. I mean, X-rays showed a lot of damage there. So I said, no, you go ahead. So she got operated, and you won't believe, sir. Next day, he's a very well-known surgeon in Thane, Dr. Milan Patil, very well-known. And he called me up at 7:30 in the morning when he saw the patient the second day post-operatively, and he complimented. He said, I really appreciate what work you have done pre-operatively. It made my job so easy on the table. So that was like, thrilling experience. I mean, such a senior doctor calling you up in the early morning and appreciating.
And these are the same orthopedic surgeons who operate and they don't refer to a physical therapist at all. In the history, if you have heard, they would have told the patient, give a sheet of exercises for quadriceps. You keep doing this, you will become normal. Okay, because I have kept the best implant. Okay, like that. But the change which has come post-operatively, the strength or the mobility, what is called as the tissue difference, because they would have assessed the pre-operative some days before to indicate for surgery. And you would have felt that post-operatively how the muscle functions were better. Okay.
Yes.
So that means pre-operatively definitely you have worked better for the adhesions in fascia. Okay. Which is functionally like fascia muscular release. Okay.
Yeah.
A huge difference.
Yes.
Even
So now
people
I'm
will be able to fully squat and sit on the floor. Okay. If
Yeah.
you use FMR with the MWM. Okay. Definitely, even if there is advanced degenerative cases. Okay.
MWM I used.
That is the controversy there.
Yeah. Her sit-to stand was very difficult, very painful. I used MWM, and within one session itself, first day, she said, I don't have pain. It's so easy for me to get up now. So it's like yeah. I mean, whatever we learned, if we can
imagine the giving wax bath and giving mobilization alone, okay, or giving exercises or giving MFR alone, okay, where that picture would have gone to. Okay, so where we see that total shift, applying the functional perspective into treatment.
And also no electrotherapy, okay? Really to mention this, only manual therapy, no electrotherapy at all. Because she told me the other therapist who was coming was giving IFT and everything. I said, you just believe in me, whatever I'm doing is going to be helpful. And she said, okay, I just leave it up to you. That was there. So no electrotherapy, only manual therapy.
Whenever you are telling all these things, I don't feel any kind of extraordinary experience, because I know that you people will do this. Okay. It is, you are destined to be like this. AOMPT is just a process, a medium where you are getting things. That's what I was trying to highlight. Okay. People think that with an online course, can we do or not? You people are doing it. It's because your hands are destined to do that. It's only that you are the missing links of your, it's like bridging. Okay. They are bridging that gaps, and you are getting more confident to apply. Okay. And so definitely it is your destiny that you have to get better. So you will definitely be, because you have done the hard work. You have the sincerity for your patients. So automatically it will happen. And that is why you are able to get the best out of the courses. Okay. That you are thinking about the patient when you are listening. Okay. You are thinking about that, yes, I didn't do it on that patient. Yeah. That is why that patient was not improving. Or, okay, I didn't know how the patient improved, maybe because of this. Okay, so everything gets filled. So that is the reason why this learning is become realistic, okay, for you, even in spite of the fact that it is online. And also because you are direct presence also. In sessions, you are watching direct. So you feel like interact. Imagery only. Virtual reality.
Yeah.
Wear the glass and we feel like we are sliding, we are jumping into the water, everything we can feel that. But in that, if you have a feeling that I'm only wearing a glasses, let me see what is there, means you will not have the real experience. But when I'm wearing glasses and I see the water, means, wow, it looks actually swimming pool only it is. Let me see how the water is. Okay. So that means you will enjoy that experience. So same thing, the added imagery is there when you are actually attending this. When you are watching the screen of the phone, you are giving that added value that as I am actually watching. Okay. The skull is there in Sir's hand, but still you are seeing like as if it is like, yes, it is there. Okay. I am seeing it. I am touching it. Okay. So that kind of an internalized feeling. That is why you are able to register this. And of course, later when you see that as a video, it is like running through of your memory. Okay? Like mentally how we run through the video of our past happenings. The same like that, the video comes. So it becomes more higher in your memory, and automatically you are able to get the best out of the courses. Okay.
Right. Right.
Right?
Because after, yes, sir. After
Thank
this,
you
when
so
we
much, sir.
again saw these videos again and again, so that time I think more clarity comes, because we have attended the live session, so it gives a more
Sometimes
benefit.
even your thinking will ask you, did I attend online? Okay. Because I have an experience where it is like almost like I was touching the skull, the master skull.
Yeah.
Okay. So that kind of a thing. Of course, my experience is only half of it, more than half is technical side. When I'm showing the skull means I'll really see like if someone watching means whether they are able to see, okay,
Yes.
without the glare. How that accessibility, can they see this? Okay, my finger placement for lateral pterygoid. Okay, origin of the lateral pterygoid. So these kind of things I try to make sure that the camera is conveying. Okay, so this is what I am trying to do. But the actual experiential learning is your imagery. Okay, what you are extending the virtual into an actual learning.
Yes. So this learning has created a shift, in us. That's what I wanted to highlight, Even if it was online, I can see a change in myself. What I was treating before COVID and what I'm treating now is totally different. And I can see those results,
No, it is like another master's course only. Whether we name it as the FOMT or postgraduate advanced fellowship for sports, everything, all the courses which you have attended is more than a master's degree, which we have actually went through at various levels.
Right, so.
Yeah.
Yes,
People
sir.
are doing the master's degree, but they may not know anything.
Yeah.
So this is like other side of the situation. And
I was
this is
blessed.
because
I'm blessed to get both, parallelly. So
obviously things will move on. When you actually take the thing, one thing it will scheduled one, another thing is your passion. So both will keeps it. This will motivate that also. Okay, so it
Yeah.
will help, and automatically that is actually cleared, and this is like a fulfillment of satisfaction. So gives you more energy to do better things. That gives more license to do things. This gives more freedom to do things.
Right, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Very nice.
See
Yeah.
you. Good luck.
Yes,
We'll meet
sir.
again.
Thank you.
And,
Yeah.
Bye, sir.
inspire
Bye,
you.
ma'am. Hare Krishna.
Bye, Hare Krishna. Enjoy.
Hare Krishna, sir.